Let's unfreeze our brains and start rolling solo. Hello and welcome to Rolling Solo, a Daggerheart actual play solo role playing show where I, Paul, play Daggerheart solo. Um, I'm all the players, I'm all the PCs, all the NPCs, the environment, and everything else that there is to do. Um, Welcome to Campaign 4. There's no recap today because we don't know. Nothing has happened yet. We're just going right into our game. Um, and in this particular game, in this particular session, we're going to start the session in combat. Um, what are we going to start in combat against? So, you see, if we thought about this, I've been running a lot of Scum and Villainy, so I'm thinking in terms of episodes. You see a dusty landscape, a vast American West style landscape of mesas and far, far distant mountains and endless plains and desert. Rising out of the desert is this thing. The Akiri. Um, and you can see it out, and we come in from a long shot, and we come in and we can see this giant creature with this mesa on its back, and it is clearly fighting something, but we don't know what yet. Then, as we come in, we come upon our characters, and they look something like, but not entirely like this. These are AI images. I apologize for using AI, but I had nothing else to use. We have in the distance, this is on the left. We have Aribia, who is our assassin. On the right, we have Dusad, our brawler. So these two rock form, but somehow also, with the dust whirling around them, they seem to have some kind of control over both earth and air. And the two of them are fighting this thing. So the first thing we see is from a distance, very far range, we see this rock form woman with hair that seems to be made of wind streaming about her, wearing a cowboy hat. She is sitting up in a she's very far away, so 90 feet or more away from this. Let's see, close is 30, far is 90, so very far. She's way in the distance from this thing, muttering to herself as she is going to take a shot. So we're just going to start out right there. With this first shot at this giant mesa creature as it stomps and swings and tries to get to someone else we don't know who yet. And we're going to pull up Aribia's stats. She will make this first attack. we're just going to start right out with this. The rifle takes agility, so this is a +2. She is aiming for the torso. Of the creature. Alright, so that's our first roll of the game, and it is, as you can see, a crit. So, this is her first shot. She is going to gain a hope. She'd lose a stress if she had any. She's going to mark a stress to mark this creature for death, because it's a successful weapon attack. Attacks you make against a target that's marked for death gain a bonus of damage equal to 1d4 per tier. You can only have one adversary marked for death at a time. So, she marks a stress to mark this creature for death. She mutters under her breath in a kind of a faint accent that you can't really place. It could be Frenchish. Just a holy shit, this thing is enormous. And she will take her shot. And how much damage does she do? Well, she's using a rifle. The rifle is D8 + 2 physical. So our dice damage max for this is going to be 12, because that's one for the D8, one for the D4. And then we roll for damage a D8 and a D4. And add 2. So, alright, not bad, not bad. That's 8. And +2 is 10. So our total damage for this is 12, + 10 is 22, which happens to be the severe threshold for this creature. It is going to take 3 damage to the torso. So we get that shot. Then we cut back to the creature itself. Now it's standing way up high, and underneath it we see, dressed in kind of cowboy clothes, his hat long gone, just a vest and like denim pants, boots. These guys don't wear boots. Rock-like feet, rock-like hands, but again, those glowing blue eyes and, a swirl of wind about him as Dusog, the brawler, makes his attempt to do some damage here. He is going to leap up onto the arm of this colossus. He's going to try to climb up onto the colossus and take a punch at them. So he leaps for the arm. This is a difficulty 13. Dusog is going to spend a hope, where his experience floats like a butterfly. Oh, that's bad. Let's get a fear here. And we will again, we will give the Colossus now takes its opportunity as he fails to climb onto the Colossus. And it is going to Let's see. What has it got? It's got all kinds of things. It's got a head. The head does Hex for a melee attack. The torso has no attacks. The legs have Stomp, which is very close. And the arms have Punch, which is very close. So, we are going to punch. We're going to take one punch. As an 11 plus 2, so that's 13, which just beats our evasion for our brawler, and he is going to take 1d8 plus 6 damage. So let's find ourselves a d8, roll it. 14 damage. That is major damage. He's going to take one. He's going to mark an armor. We're going to spend a fear to punch with the other hand. It was a 9 plus 2 is 11. Our evasion is 12, so that one misses. So one hand slams into our earth air elemental. He spins out of the spins onto the ground. The thing comes in, slams at him again, and that will put him in some danger of being stomped as he rolls underneath the thing. It's going to stomp at him. It's going to miss. That's a 3. Hard to see, isn't it? 3. That's a 3. That will miss. 3 plus 2 is 5, which is much less than 12. And that will give him... And we'll spend our last fear. We're just going to go all in at the beginning and take another stomp. That's a 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So he gets punched once. Then comes down again. He rolls out from under it. It stomps at him and stomps at him. It's trying to get to him. You can't get to him as he rolls about. We take... we go back to... we go back up to the mesa, and Aribia taking another focus shot. She will spend a hope. For her sniper capacity. Go ahead and spend that hope. She's going to spend 3 hope. As Dusog continues to keep this creature distracted, she is going to... no, he can't. We can't. Not going to spend our 3 hope yet. We're going to wait. We're going to stick with Dusog. Dusog is going to attempt now to climb onto the leg. He wants to focus his attack on the torso. So to climb onto the leg, I believe... Let's see. PCs can climb onto each Colossus' segment unless otherwise noted. He doesn't have to roll for it. He can just climb onto it. So he is going to climb onto it, and so with Aribia spending her hope. So she's going to spend 3 hope. He is going to climb onto the leg. So, place a little token on the left leg. and then make an agility roll to climb onto the torso. So now we get the agility roll, difficulty of 13. His agility is... Dusog's agility is... +2. And he will spend his last hope and floats like a butterfly to try to do this. Okay. So we have good news and we have bad news. The good news being we get onto the torso. The bad news being that our Ikiri now gets a move. So see, Dusog climbs up onto the torso of this creature, getting prepared to punch when it sits up and takes 2 it's going to make 2 attacks. I'm going to spend a fear. I'm going to spend this fear to use its crushing action. So the crushing action is that for the arm, make an attack on a target on another segment of Ikiri. On a success, Ikiri grabs and crushes the target, dealing 1d20 plus 4 physical damage and restraining them until they break free. So, or until this arm takes major or greater damage. So it's going to spend this fear and it's going to make an attack. It's going to like rears up and it reaches over to grab him off of its torso, or where he's sitting on its back. So it's like reaching back and trying to like get to him with its gorilla-like arms. It will definitely hit with that 15. So that is 1d20 plus 4. Let's find a d20 to roll here. That's a 1. So it does 5 physical damage. That is minor damage. We'll take that. But he is currently restrained until this arm takes major or greater damage. Play goes back to the players. We see Aribia staring at the arm and saying, "Shit." And she will take a shot at the arm. Okay, so good news and bad news again. That does hit. Our difficulty for the arm is 13. So with that 17, we hit. Gain a fear. Let's see how much damage the arm takes. The colossus as a whole... you can only have one adversary marked for death. I'm going to say the colossus is an entire adversary, so she's going to get her D4 on this, not just the torso. She makes her attack. That is 6 and 3 is 9. Plus 2 is 11, which is major damage on the left arm. It opens its hand, and Dusog struggles out of the hand after the shot and steps up ready to punch down. However, the Colossus is going to get a turn, and it's going to try to crush him with its right hand. So if he's climbed up onto it, it's just going to like try to pick him off of its arm. Let's see, where did that D20 go? Here it is. Okay, that is a 6. Plus 2 is 8. So it's swatting at him on its arm. This giant creature of stone is swatting with its hands, trying to get to this incredibly nimble kind of dirt and creature of dirt and dust and rock and wind, as he flies about, seeming to swing, and again moves up to try to make his move on scramble up the arm to its torso, and he will make a agility roll, DC 13. We are out of hope. Rolling at +2. I'll give him some hope. Okay, so good news and bad news. The good news is that we picked up a hope. Huzzah. The bad news is that he is still on the arm segment. Let's see. It's going to... I think its best bet is to try to grab him and crush him again. So that's... But I can't. I don't have a fear. So it's just going to try to punch him from one hand to the other hand. It's going to miss. I am not rolling well. We are not rolling well at all today, are we? Okay, so... he's going to make one more attempt to get up onto the body of this creature. Up onto the torso of this creature. Okay, so good news and bad news. We make it. We're on the creature's torso. Unfortunately, we have a fear. And I'm going to spend a fear to use its shake-off feature. So, the shake-off feature is you spend a fear to throw off foes. All creatures on Akiri must make a Strength reaction roll. So, we'll spend a hope on Floats Like a Butterfly to give him a +2 on this roll. This is a DC 13 Strength reaction roll. So this is +1, +2, +3 total. 9, 12, 13, 14. Makes it, marks a stress, remains on its torso. And now, we finally get to do what we wanted to do about 3 moves ago. So now that he's on the torso, we cut back to Aribia, who focuses and will spend 3 hope on a tag team roll, as they both will attack the torso of this creature. So let's see what we get from Aribia. She's got 3 hope that she's spent. It's an agility weapon, so it's +2 to get to the torso, which is difficulty 14. That's a 6 +5 is 11, +2 is 12, 13. So her roll is a 13 with hope. Dusog's roll is a 22 with hope, because he's punching down. So we'll take that 22 and we will gain hope. Everybody's gonna gain hope because we rolled a 22 with hope. Everybody gains a hope, and what do we roll? Dusog rolls, his damage dice is D10. I'm just going to mark this here. Fists, agility, melee range. And it is D10 plus D6. So he's going to roll a D10. And a D6. For 14. And then she is going to roll a D8. Plus 2 for 14, 15, 16. So that is, between the two of them, they managed to do 19 damage, which is major damage. So it marks 2 more hit points. And it's going to attempt to punch him. Because I don't have any fear to spend. I don't have any fear to take back the spotlight. They're going to get another shot. So with lightning fast speed, Dusog punches once, punches twice. So we'll roll with Dusog's next attack. Okay, that's 10. Plus 2 is 12. That's a miss. It does gain a hope. The creature will attempt to punch him. As he's on the back, it's just trying to slap at him. So let's see, what do we got here? And the Akiri slams a fist down on Dusog, dealing him 1d8 plus 6 damage. 8 plus 6 is 14. That is major damage. He will mark an armor. He will take a hit point. And he will punch back. Just trying to slam the torso as much as he can. Alright, that is a 12, 13, 14 with hope. That will hit. I love brawlers. That is a D10 and a D6. Nine damage. 9 is minor damage. Aribia from the outside, again, focuses, takes her shot. That is 11. I gotta remember to spend hope on abilities, because I do have one. That was an 11, 12, 13. She misses. I get a fear. Immediately going to spend that fear to try to do the crushing action. We're going to try to grab him off of the torso and do that good D20 of damage. With the left arm. 9 plus 2, 10, 11. Misses. So this kind of high evasion. Again, slapping. He's rolling about the torso, coming back up. And since he was just attacked, we'll give him the next shot. And again, just slamming his fists into this creature, and it's taking these huge cracks in its... One moment, please. Okay, well, that was fun. cracks appearing in its body as he takes another punch. Alright, that's with fear. It's a 19 though, so that will hit. That's a 19, 20, 21. That will definitely hit. Doing 8 damage, which is minor damage. It's going to spend a fear to try to grab him again and crush him with its right arm. Okay. 4, 5, 6. It misses. Arabia, seeing these cracks that have come open, is going to take a deep breath, spend a hope on Sniper, and try to get a shot in right where he's been doing damage, where Dusog has been doing damage. That is a 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 with fear. She will do her D8 plus 2 physical damage. So it's a 3 plus 2 is 5 physical damage. However, on that 5, there's a shuddering and a cracking through the creature. It shakes. It starts to... its arms begin to tremble. Cracks run up and down its torso. Its legs collapse. And it just slowly falls into the ground with a thunderous crash as Dusog leaps off its back. And we... it is defeated. But in defeat... something happens. What happens in defeat? Well, a couple of things happen, but the main thing that happens is that it begins to glow. Streaks of light come out of all of the cracks along the creature as it slowly begins to disintegrate and just become landscape. A whirling pool of energy begins to coalesce around the mesa on its top and slowly gets sucked up into the sky and disappears over the horizon, we know not where. And we have defeated a colossus. So, every time we defeat a colossus, things happen in the background, which we will have happen in the background. We'll just mark down that we defeated one colossus. Okay. Well, that went easier than I thought it would, but on the other hand, that colossus just rolled for garbage, right? I mean, no doubt about it. So we're going to cut. We're going to cut from here to a very tropey western town, with the two of them riding in. You can see, you know, there's a saloon. There's a, you know, the saloon is underneath, you know, what looks like the only two-story building in town, or true two-story building in town. You can tell it's the true two-story building because its facade goes up a solid 3 stories, whereas the other buildings all have facades that only go up to the 2nd story. And there's just the one street. It's dusty. There are horses and large cats and you know, like riding size animals, dire wolves. There's a, you know, a stable and a hostelry kind of place as our 2 characters come riding into town. What kind of mounts do they ride? Say the mounts that they're riding are somewhat like horses. Well, we'll just go with horses. Let's have our heroes come riding into town on their horses. You know, Aribia's rifle and, you know, is in a holster in, you know, on the horse, as you can sometimes see, you know, somewhere to carry and stash a rifle. They've got saddlebags with, you know, and Dusog is riding, you know, essentially bareback. We'll give him that. He's riding in, no weapons on him, saddlebags there. Again, no coat, just the vest and the jeans, and you know, these kind of, you know, his hands are wrapped, you know, in leather to protect his fists as he punches the heck out of everything, and they come riding in, and they ride straight to what looks like the sheriff's station. They hop off their horses and tie them up and walk in. And we'll have Dusog comes forward. Neither one of these guys have any presence at all, but he's gonna say, you know, well, took care of your problem. Where's our pay? And they will each get, for this endeavor, you know, the sheriff says, you know, how do I know that you, how do I know it's really gone? And they will produce there's something in here about defeating a colossus. Where you get like a there's a mechanic in here where each colossus has like a shard of some kind. And there it is. So, When the colossus went down, there was this shattering, which left these bits about, and they will produce. He'll go back out to his. He comes in. He has his saddlebag with him. Dusog does, and he reaches in. He's got it slung over his shoulder. He reaches in, and he pulls out this glowing chunk of what looks like almost like eggshell. Okay. And he puts it on the desk and says, well, that should do it. And the sheriff looks at it, agrees, and will hand them each a bag of gold, which will be their payment for this job. Okay, and then I think it would be good to have at this point we will cut to the saloon, and they will say, as they're so we cut to the saloon, and the two of them are enjoying, like, they've got like each one of them has like a shot of whiskey with a beer back, kind of staring at the people playing cards. And there are fungrel, and there are fungrel and dwarves and elves, and all manner of people in this saloon. Some of them are playing a game of billiards in the back. Some of them are throwing throwing knives at a dartboard. Some of them are playing cards. There's it's early afternoon. There's nobody playing a piano, and the place is about half empty. So there's a small group of people playing cards. There's the people at the dartboard. There's the people, 3 or 4 people playing billiards over in the corner at the billiards table. And the Dusog and Arabia are looking out over this organization, and and they'll just discuss, like, where is the next place that they want to go, and let's find some locations that they might want to go on. Do we have a map of the Drylands? I think we do. We do. We have a map of the Drylands. They'll be discussing the fact that they, maybe need to be moving on to Cinderline. They have heard, we have heard that there is also trouble in the Cinderline. I suppose that's so. Hopefully that job will pay more than this one. Says Dusog kind of dismissively. And we'll, as they are discussing this, let's have a flashback. You know, I want to, without doing the dialogue, because dialogue is hard, especially just improvised off the, you know, with no one else around. But we'll go back in time. We'll see them saddling up, and you know, we'll see Arabia first being called into an office, and having her get the skinny on what's going on. You know, or say like, you know, her boss there informs her that the people of the drylands have contacted them and have offered purses for the destruction of these colossi that have been terrorizing their towns, and that they need her to go out and work this situation down. She's like, you know, of course, when do I start? And, you know, start right away, but bide a moment. And, you know, it should be, we're going to send you with a partner. She's like, you know, she will say something along the lines of, you know, I work alone. And he will, the kind of furball behind the counter gives her this withering look and says, you know, and says, not on this job. And, you know, we'll stand up and, you know, go out to the waiting room and open the door and, you know, say, call out to send him in. And, you know, we'll have Dusog come in and he'll kind of explain the situation, you know, and you know, and Dusog just, you know, looks over at her. She looks at Dusog, and we can tell that these two people do not want to be working together on this job. And so we've done that. We have them, you know, they've gone through the fight and they're discussing it, you know, discussing the fight. And, you know, she's, you know, you did well. She says, you did well staying protected out there. And he says, huh, funny you could see from your perspective. He says, you know, be appreciative if you were to take a little bit of risk. Says, I am not stupid. You know, and there's some tension there as there. Maybe she's calling him stupid. He's not entirely clear on that. Dusog does not have a great amount of knowledge to him. And, you know, this is, you know, doesn't seem fair. We just, you know, we get equal gold. It seems like I did most of the work. Says, you know, well, what can I say? That is the deal. We should saddle up. And they're going to finish their drinks and take a long rest. Nope. And this saloon scene will count as a short rest. So we'll take a short rest here. Taking a short rest, we will... I'm going to mark down that we took a short rest. There's some campaign mechanics that happen with that we'll discuss. So, Aribia is going to look at his damage, and she is going to say, you know, looking at his, I have a medical kit in my bag. Come with me, have a look at those. And she will try to heal him for a D4 plus their tier of damage. So that's a D4 plus 1, I think. Alright, so she clears 2 hit points of his. I think you can do that. Let me look up short rest rules. I always forget this stuff. Short rest. Tend to wounds. Describe how you hastily patch yourself up. Number of hit points equal to 1d4 plus your tier. Repair armor. You can do this for an ally's armor instead. And you can 10 wounds for an ally instead. So she does 10 wounds. He will clear 2 hit points. He will tend his armor. Clear all of his armor. And both of them will use this opportunity to clear their 1 stress by taking a moment to take a drink. I will take 3 fear, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, Gorgiat mechanics. Okay, so that's, and then we're just going to wrap up the session as they head out of the saloon into the wilds. That's it. So we've had our short rest. We are, we'll start the next session at level 2. With our Juggernaut and our Executioner's Guild Assassin as they face their next opponents. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Should you be motivated in some way to pick up a Rolling Solo t-shirt or an Embrace the Chaos t-shirt, you can find those at etsy.com /shop/solid soft design. And other than that, hey, y'all keep rolling.